I'm Emma Harding, and this is People I Think Are Cool, or activities or things or stuff. Um, right now, People I Think Are Cool, Bryan Fuller and all the cast and crew of Pushing Daisies, which unfortunately was canceled before it was really anywhere near being done because the writers' strike, like messed up the views and whatever. And that's not the writers' fault. That's, strikes are just, the point is it resulted in the show ending. And I love this show. I love this show. They hinted a little bit. There might be a movie, but I mean it's probably too late now. But I'd love it if they made a movie because this show is awesome. It's about this like pushing daisies, like pushing them out of the ground. I don't really know what that concept. It has something to do with like people being buried in the ground, I think. But anyways, I don't really want to go too much into the show because then you wouldn't quite. Although it does go into it pretty fast. But basically, I mean, leave now if you don't want to hear anything about pushing daisies and you just want to watch it without like hearing anything about pushing daisies. But anyways, it's a show about a guy who touches people and they come back to life. And he like the consequences of that and just how he handles that. And like actually like it's a murder mystery show. And you're like, well, wouldn't that be really simple? But actually no, not so much. Because a lot of the time you don't see who killed you. At least in this show, I don't know, because I've never been killed, thankfully. Um, God willing. I love you, God. uh, sorry if my religion makes you uncomfortable. You don't have to be religious. It's everybody's choice. It's just something that I find very comforting. But anyways, back to Pushing Daisies. Really, really, really awesome. I love that show. It's really funny. It has Kristen Chenoweth in it. It has, I don't know her name, Anna Friel, who played, I think she played Hermia in A Midsummer Night's Dream. Yeah, she did. And then it has the dog, and I always like dogs. And then Dale is the narrator, I think, and he like narrates the Harry Potter books on tape or CDs or whatever. So you might recognize his voice. Although I did read them originally, but I've also heard them on CD slash tape. It's a very well written show, and it makes me laugh. And you might think it was sort of limiting to write a show about like how murder mysteries, if you can talk to the victim, you might think, oh, well, then that's sort of, but they made it old, but they made it fresh, and I just feel like there's so much more that I wanted to learn about, like Emerson Codd's daughter, and what happened with Ned's dad, because they were like, oh, he's the one doing this, and then they really didn't get to go into it, and they just got shut down so fast. I appreciated that they did try to tie up as many loose ends as they could in the last episode. That meant a lot, because I know to a lot of fans, it was like, what, it's ending, and it was kind of, very annoying, and it was also really difficult to find the last episodes, because I was like, well, they're not online. Eventually, they were offered in iTunes, and I was able to buy them, and I was like, yes. Of course, then after a month after I bought them, they became available on Netflix. But oh well, because I'm still supporting a show I like. I talk really fast. Yes. But Pushing Daisies is awesome, and you should watch it. And it would be cool if it came back on air or got made into a movie. And if it did, I would love to audition for a part. But yes. No, it is really awesome. And it's cool. And Bryan Fuller, the creator, although I don't really know much about him besides the fact that he created it, but I feel like looking him up, I probably should, but I don't know, looking him up just because of that, I don't want to, I do like him because he created Pushing Daisies, and there's probably other Pushing Daisies, and there's other reasons to write him. I am very, very sure. I am just, don't have the energy to look it up right now, but he is really awesome, and you should look into Pushing Daisies and Bryan Fuller and the cast and crew of Pushing Daisies. I've never, unfortunately, been in a film or television show, although I did film for American Idol once. And I have been in stage shows, and you don't really see it, but there's so many people who work backstage and off camera, and so when I go to when I go to a show, I always like to at the end when there's bows, I like to scream, go techies, because oftentimes I end up being a techie, but it's important to thank the people off screen because they're a really big part of it, and I don't know any of their names. Again, I don't have the energy to look it up, but the lighting people, set people. Ooh, my favorite job is like the one who makes sure that things are consistent every shot. I mean, it's a difficult job. I don't think I've ever seen a movie that's foolproof, but they do a good job because it, you don't notice it because they do such a good job, and you only notice it when they mess up. But it's very difficult to make sure things are consistent like that in movies. Like what I'm referring to, if you don't understand from my unclear way of talking, is like if they film a shot of someone eating an apple, and then they film it from a different angle, and they film it, and the apple is eaten when it should have been uneaten because at the part when they're using that angle, the apple hadn't been eaten yet. Or if they film it another day and it's a completely different apple, or the hair is parted on the other side, that's the consistency person's job, is to make sure those things are consistent so it doesn't look like they changed. And I mean, you might notice moments where they do, but there would be a lot more if there wasn't a consistency person, because there's a lot to keep track in the film. We aren't consistent in our everyday lives, and film isn't everyday life. It's a long period of time. I mean, it's usually doesn't. It's not corresponding to real time. It usually takes over place over more than the 2 hour. It's not usually. It doesn't place over just the 2 hours you see it. Usually, if it's a 2 hour film or whatever. But Pushing Daisies is awesome. I would love to see a movie version or more television episodes because it's just so awesome. Sometimes I see the actor who played Emerson Codd on other television shows, and it makes me sad because it's not because I don't want him to have jobs. It's great that he has jobs. It means sorry, I got distracted. Someone texted me something about homework. It makes me remind that he's not on that show yet, and I just feel if he's working these, he's less inclined to be working on Pushing Daisies secretly. Not that that's likely in the first place, but I really want it to happen. So Pushing Daisies is just so awesome, and I'm upset it's over. It's been over for a while, but I haven't gotten over it yet. Okay, I am Emma Harding. Emma Harding is Emma Harding.